Hi, Kerry here again. Welcome back to the video. It's the first time I've actually set up the tripod and the microphone and all the jazz for probably over a month now, probably even more actually. I've been doing the other previous videos guerrilla style, using the Gorilla Pod and the webcam on the computer, so this is the first time I've actually bothered to set everything up, so I hope everything is working. Well, today is the 19th of June 2021. We're a couple of days away from the winter solstice, and yep, it is pretty dark in the mornings, and I'm hoping that the days start to get a little lighter earlier, because starting next week I am back on an early shift at work, so I'll be getting up like 5 o'clock and heading out to catch a bus before 7 AM. And at that time it is still dark here. So what's going on today? So I've decided to do an acquisitions video. The other day several parcels turned up from the book depository. Some of them are only taking about 10 days to get here now, so looks like they've sorted out their shipping issues, well, for the time being. Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, the money I'd been earning from the new job finally started burning a hole in my pocket. What a curious little phrase that is, one that my mother used to use, meaning that you couldn't resist spending some newfound money. Anyway, so I decided to give in to temptation, and as the book depository had a 10% off for New Zealand customers, I ordered about 10 books, so about 4 of them have arrived so far. So with no further ado, let's start on them. So the first one is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Now this one's been a mega seller overseas in the Northern Hemisphere, super popular at the moment, and I thought I had read something else by Matt Haig, but looking in my records and my database, I can't find that I actually own anything by him. I know he's done quite a lot of non-fiction about wellness and mental health and so on. I think he's just familiar because he turns up on a lot of podcasts and radio shows and whatever that I read and listen to. So he's become familiar. Now, The Midnight Library is fiction. It's his attempt at like a feel-good motivational type story, but in a fictional form. It's basically posits that when you are at a low ebb in your life, or you die or whatever, you gain access to the Midnight Library, which is like an infinite library, which each of the books tells a story of a way your life could have gone or may go if you change your ways or whatever. And it's a story of a woman, Nora, who finds herself in that situation and discovers all the changes that her life could have been made at. So that's about as much as I know about it. I know, like I said, it's super popular. It's a bestseller all over the world. So I'll see what the fuss is all about eventually. Okay, so next up, The Gone World by, let me try and pronounce this, Tom Sweterlitsch. Now, this is one that's been recommended to me on subreddits about science fiction and what have you, and weird fiction. This is a little odd sounding. It's all time travel, alternate worlds, that type of thing. I was recommended it, people say if you like things like Recursion by Blake Crouch, you'll like this. So basically, an agent in a criminal investigation agency has to try and find out why someone went missing and murder and whatever, and apparently it turns into some timey-wimey time travel, alternate world, secret mission type thing. I don't know too much about the details of it, that's why I'm fumbling here, but yeah, so that's another one to put on the TBR, The Gone World. And from J. Michael Straczynski, best known for Babylon 5, but he wrote a hell of a lot more over the years in television, books, and comics even. This is Becoming a Writer, Staying a Writer. Now, it's his follow-up to his autobiography that he put out a couple of years ago called Becoming Superman. Now, I actually own it, but I still haven't got around to reading it. Apparently it's quite a harrowing read about his poor beginnings and how he clawed his way up to become a writer and a big wheel in Hollywood. Well, maybe not a big wheel, but a recognised name. So this one focuses more on his life in writing and gives advice to prospective writers how to start out in his routines, his exercises and what have you. I'm always a bit of a sucker for this type of thing, although I've bought a few of them lately. I still haven't got into reading them. Just the usual thing, life, work, whatever's getting in the way of me actually reading these books, which I find interesting. So that's nothing new. I'm sure I've moaned about that on camera before. So that's Becoming a Writer, Staying a Writer by J. Michael Straczynski. And last but not least, this big one, The From Hell Companion. Now, I read From Hell about, it must be coming up to 20 years ago now, when it first came out in a collected doorstop. From Hell is the story of the, name has eluded me now, the Ripper. Yes, the Ripper. And he will, Jack the Ripper, that finally came to me. So Jack the Ripper, From Hell kind of looks at the various theories about who Jack the Ripper was and tries to push its theory of its own that it was a certain person for certain reasons. But in the meantime, it kind of broadens out, looks at the world of London and the semi-occult and mystical type things that are connected with London and its layout, geography, culture and history. And it was a really good read, From Hell. And last year or earlier this year, I bought there's a remastered, kind of like the master edition of From Hell in a hardback. It's been coloured by the artist Eddie Campbell, and he's actually redrawn some parts that were a bit murky or unclear. And I do have that, but I still haven't read that one either. And anyway, the From Hell Companion came out, maybe 10 years ago. It was kind of companion to the original version, not the remastered one. And it was available on places like Amazon and what have you. And then it suddenly went unavailable. And I thought, that was it. My chance of getting it was gone. So just recently I was on the book depository, and it came up with a dual edition of From Hell and the Companion in one volume. It only seemed to be in foreign languages. So I just, on off chance, searched to see if the Companion was still available, and lo and behold it was. It seems to be back in print. I'm not sure why. So the Companion's basically like a behind the scenes about the writing, the drawing and the production of From Hell. I don't think it dwells anything on the terrible movie they made from it, which kind of basically ignored most of the story. So this has got like sketches and excerpts from Alan Moore's scripts, and see, there we go, scripts and concept art, and Eddie Campbell's art, Alan Moore's writing. That was an amazing combination at the time. And so that is From Hell, the From Hell Companion. So that's the 4 books that have arrived so far. I've got another 4 or 5 on their way, so we'll get to them maybe next week. And so what else is going on? Well, I'm still working in the important, essential working job, which I found myself in since April. I thought it was going to wind up soon, but they're talking about extending my contract. So exactly what we'll be doing in the near term is not actually clear. So we are supporting the effort against the COVID-19 pandemic. That's all I can really say. And we were like a local side of things, and there's a big wheels are rolling in to start up a national effort, and we're either going to get combined with that or basically chucked out on our ears. So the future is a bit uncertain, but starting next week I am back on an early shift. I think I might have mentioned that earlier. So I'll be getting up early, going to work early, and actually getting home before dark, hopefully. So the last 6 weeks I've been working a later shift, and that's kind of played havoc with the carefully worked out routine that I had been living before then. But yeah, so I'll be back to a more reasonable hours, so hopefully I'll be able to get more reading in and get back to a suitable routine until they change things again, of course. So what else is going on? Well, I am think about just under 3/4 of the way through Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I'm enjoying some of the ideas and the plot of it, but it seems very heavy-handed, and I'm not enjoying Andy Weir's writing style in this one. It seems like it's he's rewriting the style of The Martian, but at a lower level, so he's aiming for an all ages type audience, from 10-year-olds up or something. It's not working that great for me. Better parts are where he does the science and he works out things using science and technology. Some of the speculative stuff is interesting, but overall it's not just hanging this together perfectly from where I'm just finding it a little lacking in some departments. So maybe he'll pull off the last quarter and make it amazing, but I'm a little disappointed in this one. Everyone was saying it was a return to form after Artemis, but I'm not so sure. I guess it's an interesting diversion, if nothing else. So that's me done for now. So I hope you're enjoying the videos. Hopefully I'll be able to get some more done, more of a routine. Just at the moment, I'm just having to do this when I can find the time. So I hope you're having a good weekend, and we'll see you next time. And if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. If you didn't, well, that's your prerogative anyway. See ya.